Hello everyone, today we have new video review, and as you can see this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Zvezda, and it's a kit in 1/72 scale. It copies SA-22 Greyhound, or so-called Panzer S1. I don't know why it's different in Russian and English, but we have here the kit which was purchased with your help, and we are going to take a closer look at what is actually included in here. The kit number is 5069, and I have to admit that box art looks quite impressive. Here you can see comparison with my hand. It's not that big box, but let's not forget that we are dealing with a 1/72 scale kit. And here on the side you will find also some information about the kit. So assembled model will be 17.3 centimeters long, and we have 264 parts inside. We also have Decals map here and some safety devices, of course, as well as the paint numbers. While on the opposite side you'll find 3 other kits which are also in the same scale, and you can also check their video reviews on our YouTube channel because we were checking some of those. And as for the rear side, here as usual we have pictures of the finished model, we have some information about the real vehicle, and we also have some information about the kit. It's pretty much the same parts count and the dimensions of the finished model. So as usual, this box is sealed with the tape, so I'm going to cut through it and open it right now. As Zvezda packing kits, as you can see, we have the flexible box, and then we have a sturdy cardboard box, which might look ugly, but it does what it should, so it protects all the parts, and that's why all the plastic will arrive intact to you, and I think that's the most important thing. Here we have sprues separated into 2 plastic bags. I can see also assembly manual and marking guide on the bottom, but we will talk about all this in our, let's say, typical order. First of all, I would like to start with the plastic bag, and then gradually we will move on to other components which are supplied in this kit as a standard package. So, first of all, I'm opening the plastic bag which was on top. Here we have 3 plastic sprues, gray plastic obviously, and we are going to start with this one, which actually houses the parts for the superstructure, as we can say, or the turret which is placed on the truck. You can see the parts here. We also have wheel rims, we have some parts for the fuel tanks as far as I can see, and overall molding quality is really good here, so it's on par with what we saw in the latest releases from Zvezda, so there is nothing to be worried about in terms of quality. Here you can take a closer look at these parts, and let's flip it over. I'm just interested if the parts have guiding pins, and they actually have, because it will be quite important for these turret parts so that you can get the smooth connection between them. And as you notice, there are some, let's say, useful elements which will help you with alignment, and that's really good. Next we continue with another plastic sprue, so it's pretty much the same as far as I can see. So we actually have it in 2 pieces, so this one will move aside. And we continue with the bigger plastic sprue, because here we have front cap parts as well as the truck parts. So in 1/72 scale it might look not that impressive, I mean size wise you can see comparison with my hand, but still it should be quite a big truck with 17 centimeters length. It will be a noticeable build. And here you can see, for example, the main gun. You can see also the ammo belts, protectors or covers. Here we have also sidewalls, and yes, doors are pre-molded, so you won't be able to open them. This is really weird to see in the modern kit from Zvezda, because it could be possible to do the separate doors, but they decided to go with this. And here we continue with some interior parts, suspension parts. I can see also one-piece seats, and here we have the front mask molded together with the bumper, roof panel, rear panel or rear wall for the front cap. That's the front mask. And note that front mask actually has the Komatsu logo. It's the manufacturer of these trucks, which is really nice. And here inside, for the cap parts, you can see that we have some guiding elements which will help you with alignment. Obviously it will be a good idea to try some dry fitment first, so that you can get a proper fitment between them, because otherwise it will be a bit tricky to fix it later. Next we continue with something I'm not a huge fan of, and some of you might even guess it immediately. That's the vinyl tires for the road wheels. Some modders are actually happy to see this rubber or vinyl tires in the box. I'm not that happy because they do not have the necessary features or details which I would like to see. Yes, this tire pattern, it looks good as you can see with your own eyes, but that's pretty much all. We don't have any writings on the tire walls, we don't have anything else, and of course these parts will be a bit difficult to paint and weather in case you would like to replicate some elements, effects on your model. Then definitely that's something what should be replaced with the resin, and resin usually is a bit more sophisticated in what it is offering for the model, even in this scale. Next we continue with decals. So here it is, it's one small decal sheet, and as you can see we have full number registry, we have some, I can see, dials for the instrument panel, and also several types of the license plates. So that's really good in my opinion, especially for a 1/72 scale set. This is definitely a nice thing to have out of the box. As for the clear sprue, here we have it as a separate frame. We have all the clear parts for the front cap, including the front or headlamps lenses. But I think there are no masks included, so you have to get them by your own. Now I'm opening another plastic bag. So here we have bigger plastic sprues, and it should be quite quick to open. Even though this is a sealed plastic bag, still I will be quick here. So actually there are two plastic sprues. So here we have all the necessary parts for the turret and also for the rear subframe. So you can see these are mostly panels which should be combined into the boxy structure on this truck, but overall I like what we have as a pre-molded features on this part. So it would be a wise idea to play with some weathering here so that you can get a even more impressive appearance, especially on these parts for example. And that's, by the way, the base plate we molded together with the chassis. So it's also quite an interesting design which should make it easier to assemble everything together, because basically you get it as it should be and you don't have to play with alignment. Here you can see parts from the opposite side, nothing interesting in my opinion. That's why we can continue to the last gray plastic sprue. So here we have a lot of parts for the suspension. Here we have also chassis bars which are molded together with the suspension parts. So these are leaf springs. We also have some separate suspension parts. Fuel tank, for example, here. What is really surprising to see is the engine parts. So in 1/72 scale, out of the box, you'll actually get the engine and drivetrain. I'm not sure how it will be possible to show them, maybe to tilt the front cap in order to expose it, but it's really nice to get it in this kit, especially considering that even today some manufacturers are not including such thing in a 1/35 scale, but here we get it in a smaller scale. Even though smaller scale is a bit more difficult to replicate such things. Next we continue with the marking guide. So as I said before, it is printed in color. Here we have 3 marking options, one even in the sand color, which is quite unusual, and one here in a winter camouflage, even more unusual in my opinion. So 4 marking options, really good choice for a 1/72 scale. And next we continue with the assembly manual. So here we have quite an interesting insert right on the first page, or quite interesting section. You can see that you can choose the assembly manual, so deployed version or the transport version. It will be up to you which one you will choose, but it's really good to have them. And there is no option to tilt the front cap, so engine will be basically hidden under the front cap, or you can do something with your own hands and tools in order to expose the engine, maybe to build a repair diorama. Here we continue with the parts map. As usual, Zvezda does not show which parts are unused. We start with interior, of course, so here you have to combine all the parts together. As you can see, it starts with interior, but then gradually we move on to the front cap panels. There are a lot of things to be installed, so plan your I would say painting process in advance so that it will be properly painted and you won't have to reach some unreachable spaces with the thin brush. As you can see, the drivetrain is really detailed, including the exhaust tube, fuel tanks, suspension parts, so all this will be out of the box, and it's just a matter of detailing it maybe with some wiring, who knows. Here we continue with wheels, so road wheels, also some mud guards getting installed, and then we start working on the rear sub-assembly. So here, as I said before, it's a matter of combining all these separate panels together. Obviously there is no interior inside, it will be empty inside. And here we start working on the turret, which is also quite impressive. I'm a bit worried about this thing, because here you will have to get the smooth connection between the parts so that they will look natural. Maybe some sanding will be required, but that's pretty much all. Here we continue with the ammo boxes for machine guns, and also here we have some options for the deployed version. As far as I can see, you will have to choose which ladder you will be using, because it will also influence deployed or transport version of this truck. So this kit should be already available, and you can get it in any good model shop. And of course, I would like to say big thank you for getting or helping me to get this kit. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about this release. Do not forget to write it here in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.